You did just put the machine on an angle now.
This is the bounce out.
Yeah, bounce out.
If there's one way to do it, and there's the easier way and the harder way, it's beautifully the harder way.
This is it. This is where all of the work we've done, all the technology that we've created comes together.
They take us all the way. They take us all the way.
Great romance, great war story, and something that hasn't been done before.
What are we on, day 247 or something?
I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm relieved, I'm overjoyed, I'm depressed. I've been living with this character, with these good people. I've been working on this piece since 1997.
The amount of time and what I've had a chance to participate in and what I've seen other actors do has just been inspiring.
The Wachowski brothers were literally shooting every day for 270 days, almost a year of shooting. It was an incredible task.
Because it's such a long period of our lives, and you know, we've all been together through a lot of fun and hard work and a lot of tragedy and sadness and a lot of happiness and joy. Every day coming to work is, for me, the highlight. So, I'll miss that.
The first movie's about birth. The second movie deals with life. The third movie's about death.
3 seems to come back down to this head-on collision that's going to happen between Neo and Smith and the defense of Zion, and they are also inextricably linked together.
We actually get to see the real confrontation. If this is it, this is going to be the takedown. One of us is going to win, one of us is going to lose.
And ultimately, everything is lost and everything is gained.
In less than 12 hours, the machines will breach the dock walls. We've seen that once the machines are inside the city, the odds of our survival decrease dramatically.
Has that been word from the Nebuchadnezzar?
None, and at this point, there's no reason to expect that there ever will be.
Perhaps. But we can hope.
Revolutions was like this wonderful poem on love and life and death.
All about trusting and having belief and having faith and fighting for that which you believe in. That in the darkness, if there's light, it will always prevail.
The nature of a reality and a alternate reality.
It's an epic, but it's an epic in postmodern terms, postmodern conditions, and yet it's timeless, because all great epics transcend any historical period. And I think in the end, The Matrix will also transcend its historical period.
It is a strong love story. It is a strong philosophical movie. It is a war movie. It is a giant action movie. It is kung fu. It brings everything together.
His neural patterns don't read like someone who's in a coma. The strange thing is, I see these patterns all the time.
Where?
On someone jacked in.
At the end of Reloaded, Neo finds himself caught in a construct made by the Merovingian.
He ends up disconnecting himself from his mind, and in this, I suppose it's like a purgatory.
My name is Sati.
I'm at the train station. It functions as a realm of the programs, the crossover from being part of the machine world to the Matrix, where they're liberated.
To get from one world to this other world, Neo has to go through the train man.
Who are you?
The train man is kind of like the ferryman crossing the River Styx. But the train man is not necessarily a very cooperative person.
supposed to be free in the Matrix, but they're really imprisoned in programs they're now trying to escape because of deletion or other kinds of situations like Merovingian, who are now using the Matrix as a form for a free place to exist. Dealing with kind of the evolution of entities, programs, humans, machines, and nature.
Do you recognize me?
A part of you.
Yeah, that's how it works. Some bits you lose, some bits you keep. I don't yet recognize my face in the mirror, but I still love candy.
Aaliyah dying and September 11th, and then Gloria dying. That was a tough time.
We lost Gloria Foster, man. We lost Aaliyah, we lost Gloria. Her death devastated everyone. Larry and Andy in particular, I know.
Anybody you know, especially someone that sweet and just like everybody's grandma.
Gloria was a woman who was a giant in the American theater. Well-loved and well-respected, an incredible talent. Somebody who never really got her due, if you will. And the role of the Oracle was one in which she was actually able to sort of live out some of that.
She is that character. Her performance, her original performance is fantastic.
Not quite what you were expecting, right?
It was immediately apparent to anybody who read the scripts that her absence potentially was a structurally significant blow to the production.
Initially, we didn't know. And for Larry and Andy, they were like dumbfounded. And then it became a very difficult rewrite. You know, how to explain to have essentially one Oracle in Reloaded and then have a completely different person in Revolutions.
They reached out to Mary Alice, who played with Gloria Foster in New York for 2 years in a show called Having Our Say. And they were brilliant together.
Now, when I saw, I just thought Gloria was wonderful as the Oracle. I just sort of let myself be open. What about the
Mary Alice comes in and does an amazing job of presenting a living, breathing Oracle.
The saga of making the movie was as full of drama and thrills and chills and excitement as the movie themselves. Keanu and Carrie and Jada, Lawrence Hugo, I mean, they really worked hard.
Can I take your... Oh my God.
I had such anxiety when I walked onto the set. It reminded me of when Keanu and I did the government lobby. Just the idea of the squibs and the explosions and the pressure to get it. I was just like, whew.
This way?
Yeah.
The boys were very specific. This is a big old heavy ship, so you gotta look like you're really turning this thing and you're trying to turn it fast and whew, we were really sweating.
They're not interested in just spectacle. They put the camera in places that you generally never put it. Longer takes, different angles that you don't usually see, longer fight sequences, and it's much more difficult to do. But what happens then, if you do get it, it's like it's really happening.
Good. Are you okay? Okay, everyone.
Oh, I thought he was saying my head.
Diving.
I have to kick this guy and he goes through the wall. And every time I did the kick, I had my eyes closed until they said he was okay. Because I was so afraid he was just gonna like get a concussion or hurt himself or, oh, that was so crazy. Those guys are crazy. I never knew stuntmen until this film, and stuntmen and stuntwomen are very, very special people. They're like kids.
I'm always surprised by the shots that they can come up with. Each time they surprise us with a new angle, a new type of shot.
It's one of those films that's really in the imagination of the directors, really. It's in their heads. But once you kind of get into their heads, they can make that journey too.
It just evolves, you know. It's just, you have the idea and you proceed with it. It evolves into another idea. You proceed with it. It evolves into another idea. You don't know until the day you show up.
Oftentimes it's Larry with a finder and Andrew at the monitor. And they find the scene. Well, should we put the camera here? Should we put it here? Should we put it there? It's been great to be a part of that creative process with them.
The amount of sets and the amount of setups and the amount of units shooting at one time, it was mind-boggling.
It takes an army of people doing the conceptual drawings, the storyboards, physically building those things, painting them. Larry and Andy and Bill Pope standing on that set and directing and photographing the actors. And then add to it visual effects.
What's a pod-born pencil neck like you doing volunteering for my corps?
I want to do my part, sir. We gotta hold the dock.
How old are you, kid?
18.
Should have said 16. I might have believed that.
Machines don't care how old I am. They'll kill me just the same.
The siege is where all the bruises came from, and it's gonna be well worth every bruise.
Siege is the climactic confrontation between man and machine in the tradition of Jeff Darrow. It would be very, very, very dense frame.
Jeff Darrow established a lot of the design with these massive drawings where every single bolt was detailed and every bit of rust had a line. The challenge of making that into the siege was massive.
It's really an epic sequence. I mean, it is just huge. It uses everything that a filmmaker has at his disposal to create something gigantic. Full of live action photography, integrated with CGI photography, integrated with miniature work.
The amount of art and technology that's had to come together in such a short period of time is pretty much second to none.
You have to get everybody together, work it out. First it comes from the brothers, then it goes to Owen, and then it goes to John, and it comes to me, and we just slowly hammer it out. What does it really look like? What does it look like finally on celluloid?
We're standing on the dock set at the moment, and you can see all these fantastic sentinels. Larry and Andy like to have some physical set into which to place a visual effect.
It's something that could not have been done ever until right now.
Getting the scene even initiated visual effects-wise was like climbing over a glacial mountain.
300 shots. It's a 17-minute sequence that cost more than most movies that have been made.
100,000 gigabytes of disk storage.
Companies on 3 different continents, having 1,000 employees.
So many hundreds of crafts all working together.
My name is Lyndon Barwa, and I am the animation supervisor.
I'm Dan Glass. I'm one of the visual effects supervisors.
My name is Scott Kravitz, visual effects supervisor.
Visual effects technology supervisor.
Animation supervisor. Character setup artist.
Head of R&D.
Color and lighting, TD.
My name's Alistair McLeod. I'm
technical director.
What am I?
I worked on the hair tool.
Randy, like animator.
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 Lead animator on the siege.
The scene has been drawn, visualized, discussed, tested for a solid 2 years now.
It was extraordinary just looking at that animation, you know, and that was just a rough idea of what was going to happen.
They prevised this entire sequence. So more often than not, we use the previs as the Bible.
They had this amazing APU and all its accoutrements.
Which is essentially a robot that they sit in the seat of.
Again, it came from a drawing that Jeff did. It was a huge effort to kind of construct that.
One of my great pleasures was to show them one of these drawings. As soon as they started laughing, I knew I did what they wanted.
10 tons of metal, he could make it shoot all over the place.
So the other part of the set that was made was a human carriage. It's got all these fantastically dramatic moves, which are all run off the animation cycle that John Gator's team at Escape have worked out.
As an animator, you actually got to drive those performances beforehand. So those performances are already tailored to an action that you've developed.
It was like being in the ultimate PlayStation game, you know? You were actually in the game, to be in there shooting down these bad guys and being the last man standing.
So it's been all of these people that go together, put all these bits and pieces together. Eventually you get an APU standing there.
We have launched a miniature unit working specifically on things that get destroyed.
Things breaking, things smashing. We still do a good job at that.
When you are a good filmmaker, you know how to use CGI. It is an incredible tool.
Our team is essentially just working on The Siege, which is recreate this entire underworld environment. The dock, the characters, the platforms, the subfloor, throwing in all of our thousands of Sentinel swarms. The biggest CG battle that I've seen in a film.
So it's a real mishmash of real art-directed physical objects, actors, digital creatures, miniatures, and computer graphics.
You don't think you're coming back? I knew it the moment you said you had to leave. I could see it in your face. Just like you knew the moment you looked at me that I was coming with you. Here we go. One of the things that I love so much about Trinity is just her complete and total love that she has for Neo and the belief that she has in Neo. And she's, not going to be told that, she can't do something. She's very proactive. She goes in there and finds a way.
That's all you said to go?
Yeah, give it to me right away. I want it.
3, 2, 1, go. Cut.
Trinity and Neo sort of ascend while Morpheus and Niobe are descending.
Right.
The world seems to be coming to this, catastrophic end. It's beautiful.
Lawrence, it's like bouncing a tennis ball back and forth and back and forth. He and I were out there playing tennis.
Can we make it?
We ain't come this far.
Smiths are meant to be all the same, and yet, do you dissipate the energy of Smith for a viewing audience if there isn't one central Smith? Does the viewer really want there to be one central, extremely bad Smith that they can kind of focus on?
The whole Neo-Smith interchange all the way through is the key to the Matrix to me, and it really comes to a head in 3.
It's a negotiation, right? It's a contest of will.
They're opposites, and therefore they have to be together in life and death.
They have equal power and equal strength, but one wants one thing and one wants the other.
He expresses the desire to be all-powerful. He seems to be taking over the world. Yeah. And he seems to relish that.
Mr. Anderson, welcome back. We missed you.
It ends tonight.
Super Brawl takes place in the street, in the air, and then in a building, and then in a crater.
Rain was unbelievable. They couldn't get much done. It was the highest example of like, da-da-da, cut, okay, set up. And a setup would take a long time. So they'd have to dry the guys. But it was, you know, that was crazy. That's a crazy scene.
The challenge was getting a hell of a lot of water in and getting a hell of a lot of water out without flooding the whole studio.
Matrix code was originally conceived to look like rain. It was supposed to look like water coming down the screen. So when you actually have rain, you of course want to allude to the Matrix code rain. So we wanted fat rain, which we ended up calling chubby rain, large nozzles and huge amounts of water.
The rain was so heavy that it was hard to speak without starting to have bubbles and streams of water running out of your mouth. We did one little piece. We had like 78 takes, and then went back the next day and did another 15 or something like that.
Fight gets taken skyward, and there is feats of flying and flying, fighting, and ways of battling in the sky. The whole scene is a serious amount of blending between computer graphics and photography.
They wanted to see flight in a way that we would assume would be the characters would have weight and they would move and they would feel like they were flying.
We had to devise some practical methods which were rig-based, and then of course applying virtual humans anywhere that we could to do some of the more complex camera coverage. The virtual human process is a combination of the motion capture and universal capture. The beginning of the story starts with going up in the zero-G plane and studying what it looks like to be doing martial arts in zero gravity.
They use those zero-gravity plane devices to train astronauts. They go up to a certain height and they do a quick drop, which kind of suspends the participants in a weightless situation. Gaeta and the guys wanted to get a sense of what weightlessness was like.
It's a really excellent reference that we actually used as a template for how the shots would look. And there's a lot of bits and pieces that are achieved by motion capture.
It's kind of like the strings of a puppet. The cameras can't actually see the actors, but we record those motions, and then we can attach those motions to a different character.
And you kick Hugo!
You just have to find some joy in it.
Universal capture, which is kind of like emotion capture, where they do tremendous, very, very high definition photography of a face, and then the computer actually records how they are, so they can actually take one person's face and put it onto another person's face.
You deliver a hit, you're running in, you're pissed at him because you're going to just take him out. Come on.
It's like your whole performance is being taken apart, and the way in which you do things is being put under the microscope. Every little movement, every little sound, every little part of your body is being scrutinized and filmed and I don't mind this sort of thing, but flipping around, don't like that.
Cool, aren't they?
It just takes place all around you and above you and below you. It is everything every comic book reader or comic book fan has ever dreamed of.
Folks, the gate's good, so that will be a motion picture wrap on Morpheus, Lawrence Fishburne on Matrix Recalibrated.
We are forever connected to each other, and we are forever identified by these characters.
It's been a transforming experience. It's been so much learning, and it's been hard, wonderful.
Being on this project has helped me grow in so many different ways.
It's been hard, but that's what makes it really good, you know, rolling up the sleeves and trying to realize this dream. You know, it's kind of been one of my mantras through the days. It's just, you know, may we realize this dream.
It's wonderful to be so committed to something that you believe in.
There just aren't many projects like The Matrix. This is the only movie I would have sacrificed 2 years of my life for. This is the only one.
People took the most extraordinary things out of the first one. This one will be no different.
It's an evergreen. It's going to be around for a long time, a long, 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 long time.
Hopefully we'll have fun, things to think about, things to talk about, and we'll create some moments about being excited, going to the movies.
Everything that has a beginning has an end.